What you're about to see is a remote viewing session done totally blind by the remote viewer. This is one session of a series of sessions where the focus is on the Ukraine war, but not inside Ukraine. Rather, the focus is on the expansion of the war into Western Europe under two different conditions. Now, the first condition is where Europe sends additional and significant military resources to help Ukraine fight the war. That's focus one. Focus two is where Europe does not send additional and significant military resources to help Ukraine fight the war. That is focus two. So we have two timelines, and we are interested here in whether the sending of military resources to Ukraine from Western Europe makes a noticeable difference in how the war evolves. If you like what you see in this video, please consider subscribing to FARSIGHT'Prime.com, our own streaming service, where you can see all of our major projects that have been conducted over a great many years, plus new projects that are being added each month. FARSIGHT'Prime.com, under any definition, is cutting edge. Nowhere else can you find content that explores the deepest mysteries of planet Earth, our solar system, and the galaxy under scientifically clean conditions. At Farsight, we give you the facts, and only the facts. Raw data observed under scientifically defensible and clean conditions. When you rely on he said, she said content that fills the mainstream news, you are being manipulated, lied to. But when you look at the facts, raw and unadulterated data, you are getting the real deal. The remote viewer for this session is Rock Arkie. All right, Rock. And we are here with deep news. And Rock, just for the audience's sake, let's just reaffirm that you don't know anything about the project or the nature of the target. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
All right, that's great. All right, so Rock, why don't we just start by having you describe what you got in your session, and then I will tell you what the target is after you do all that and the target reveal, okay?
Sounds good.
Great.
So in page one, I perceived water, or a vast expanse of water, and then I went on to perceive some type of, and I want to say primitive, if you will. It's just the beginnings of what potentially could be a man-made structure. And then in the next ideogram, I had a lot of the circular energy and whether it's a hole in the ground or an object in water or something. I don't really know, but I felt that circular energy. And then moving
the sketch looks like a huge hole in the ground.
Very well could have been.
But go ahead.
Yeah, it very well could have been a huge hole in the ground.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then in Playfair, the first site that I saw was a large structure that seemed to be on or near the water, but there was something going on with that structure, and I detected what seemed like a lot of smoke. I had caustic smells, concussive sounds, mild temperature, but I just came away with the sensation that there was some kinetic activity at that site causing the problem.
Interesting. Then, now this structure looks like a structure on land. Is that right?
It's on land but near water. I picked up the near water.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, so what next?
And then the next thing I picked up was a large structure, moving under the water, which is akin to a vessel or a submarine. And I really didn't pick up anything other than the rapid motion of this giant object moving underwater. And then interestingly...
But could that, let me ask you a question. You had the word submarine there, but could that also be a missile? Because it looks like a missile in the sketch.
You know, it very well could be, because the prominent area that I tried to express was this almost rarefaction wave in front of the object that's moving through a fluid, and that fluid could be liquid or it could be air. Right.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at your sketch. Okay, keep going.
But the next one was interesting. I got the dynamic of a structure that was entering the water, but it sort of felt like, and I saw in my mind's eye, this large halo encompassing the entire object as it entered the water, just like an energetic aspect of something large entering the water.
Now, Rock, from your picture, I'm just looking at your picture. How can you tell if it's entering or leaving the water? Because it looks like it could be either one.
That's a good question. I didn't really ask that question, but when I saw that flash visual, it seemed to me that it was on a course of entering the water. So I couldn't be sure, and I like your question. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, because if I just look at the picture, it's not possible to tell if it's going in or out, but it's connecting with the water at an angle.
Yes.
But whether it's going in or out, I can't tell from the picture. Okay, keep going.
And then the next was distressing somewhat, because I had a human individual that seemed very disheveled, coming out of some level of chaos, and I picked up that his extremities were injured. Also perceived a large bang, sensed burning, and it just felt like this person was escaping a very hazardous situation and had been injured in doing just that.
Yeah, he looks like he's in real bad shape.
Yep.
Okay, what's next?
Now I had that, what seems to be a cloister of buildings, an urban area, and some level of kinetic action in this same area. It was different than the previous activity at the building near the seashore. This really seemed to me to be some level of explosion, but it seemed more. And I think if you expand on the detail there, you'll see like I had wheels or axles, because it seemed to be an explosion that was vehicle borne. That was my sense anyway.
Vehicle. Well, you have also written down here it's an urban area, and it's an explosion in an urban area.
Correct.
With a concussive bang. Wow,
Right,
okay.
right.
A lot of burning also you have.
Right.
All right, well, keep going.
And then, as I did another visual, I sensed flags at half-mast, which was somewhat disturbing.
Yeah.
And I really didn't, there was actually in my mind's eye, I could pick up some level of detail of the flags, but not much where I could determine what nationality is. Just like there were several flags, but they were all at half-mast. That was the impression I came away with.
No, but this is interesting because you have flags at half-mast for 3 countries.
Correct.
So that's very interesting. So you have something affecting more than one country.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like to me. I mean, it's clear as day. 3 separate national flags. Keep on going, Rock. Next page, you're in S4. Focus 1. So now we're in Focus 1.
And the query was from the center of the target for focus area 1, something should be perceivable. And as soon as I started probing on this focus area 1, I perceived heavy, human, large stature, well-dressed. But over here to the right, and you'll see my probing points, over here to the right, I also perceived some kind of graduated incline, either steps or an incline or something moving up, a structure that moves up.
So that's what you were drawing there. I thought it was just a structure, but you're saying it's a structure with sort of steps on it.
An incline of some sort. I got that.
Okay.
I also picked up water, land surface. There was this caustic smell, a sense of salty air and smoke. And then I said structure on land near water. Once again, that structure. And that right depiction is solid, so it is depicting a structure, but that structure is multi-leveled. I guess that's what I came away with.
So I guess it would be incorrect then to say there's stairs, because that's a very high-level word. What you're getting is a multi-level structure.
I think that's that's a better definition, right?
Yeah, we have to keep it as low level as possible.
Yep.
If you say stairs, it's a very high level concept, but a multi-level structure that reminds you of the shape of stairs. Okay, so what do we have on page 7?
Multiple structures I picked up, smaller than a city. Subjects were outside and inside, many subjects. Once again, that caustic burning smell and this sense of concussive, explosive activity.
Wow, okay. Mild temperatures also. Okay,
Right.
so let's go to page 8. That looks like one of your Playfair sketches, but in big.
And I think we're returning to that initial picture. I got the same sense of the multiple structures with the smoke. I had vehicles outside of the structures and some level of perception of death or injury, concussions and smoke once again.
Wow, so here you have multiple flags at half-mast indicating more than one nation, at least 3. And you've got a city that's got smoke and concussive sounds and burning all around. All right, I get it. All right, let's move on to page 9. They're going to the cause of the smoke.
That was moved to the cause of the smoke, and I picked up fast movers, multiples of fast movers, whether they're structures, drones, or missiles. They're a non-surface structure coming down from above,
Okay.
to me resembling a missile or a drone. And I got a
Yeah.
sense of agitation, excitement, humans affected and surprised, fear with a brilliant flash.
Wow. Yeah,
So
brilliant flash you have.
Right. And
Okay,
then I had little lines underneath that, and I don't know if that was multiples of the brilliant flash but I picked up a cadence of some level of energy with those flashes.
Yeah. It would indicate that you were really underlining the word brilliant flash, so that would indicate that was a marked perception that you have, a
Right.
strong perception. Okay, so let's go to page 10 because now you're going into focus 2.
Now at focus 2, I got a sense of a large, very modern, we're inside a structure. There's a tremendous amount of chatter, displays, it's noisy, the subjects are talking, and there's an air of tension. It's tense within that environment. They're all monitoring or controlling something.
Yeah, it looks like it's in a control room of some type. They're all facing computer screens.
Right.
All right, so let's go on to page 11.
And then 11 was just a flash, a real fast sketch. I perceived a very modern vehicle, and if you look at the top of that vehicle, I got a sense of energy coming from those transmit and receive antennas on top. So it's a vehicle
Okay.
that has a lot of interesting capabilities, and it's gaining insights or information outside of standard process. I mean, that's what I picked up with the visual on this vehicle.
Yeah, okay. All right, now let's go over to page 12. What do you have there?
And page 12 was just a prominent mountain of some sort near a large body of water. So there's
Okay.
there's a large
Doesn't
ascending and descending natural formation near a body of
It's
water.
interesting. It doesn't look like much is happening on that spot.
Right. No, it's
Okay, well
just
that
a
may be
spot.
an important thing. Okay, so what do you get? I guess that's it. That's the
That was 12.
end
yep.
of your session. All right, I could always crack a joke at this point and give you a crazy target, but I won't. Do you want to know what the target is?
Yeah, it would be a relief.
Okay, there's 2 focuses. Now, both focuses in the entire target deals with the Ukraine war, but not in Ukraine. So the goal is to determine the evolution of the Ukraine war outside of Ukraine in Western Europe. So nothing in this target actually is in Ukraine. It's all Western Europe. So here's the first focus. Focus 1. The most significant event relating to the Ukraine war with Russia, but outside of Ukraine in Western Europe, under the conditions where Europe sends additional and significant military resources to help Ukraine fight the war. This is the timeline where the war evolves as it is currently evolving as of March 2025. So Britain and France are thinking of sending additional military supplies, but also people, troops, into Ukraine. Poland is thinking the same thing. Germany is mobilizing possibly the largest army in Europe, and Poland is expanding its army by huge numbers. So, so if that type of thing continues, that's focus 1. It's the Ukraine war, but outside of Ukraine war. All right, now, focus 2 is the most significant event relating to the Ukraine war with Russia, but outside of Ukraine in Western Europe, under the conditions where Europe does not send additional and significant military resources to help Ukraine fight the war. So we have two timelines, one in which Western Europe sends more help to Ukraine to fight the war. That's focus 1. And the focus 2 is where Western Europe does nothing additional to help Ukraine fight the war. And your session is very striking. If I was to look at your session, well, actually, before I say what I see in the session, why don't you give me your feedback?
Overall in the session, and it's I'm very surprised. I think it's interesting to come out of a target that could be anything on the planet or outside of the planet to be focused on this level of kinetic energy, this destruction, harm and mayhem, as well as control from afar that we're seeing in focus 2.
Yeah, but Rock, it can't be anywhere on the planet because the target specifically says Western Europe.
No, but for me, it was anywhere on the planet. I'm just saying I didn't know what the target was. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, I see. For you, yeah. But now you're hearing. What I'm picking up is we have two focuses. And if I look at your session, it's clear as day. Focus 1, there's heavy fighting, missiles, buildings, cities blowing up. That's what I'm seeing in your data for focus 1. Focus 2, we get a lot of people looking at control screens, computer screens, monitoring things, but I don't see anything blowing up in focus 2.
Right.
All the blowing up seems to happen in focus 1. I'm looking, starting at page 10 for focus 2. I don't see any wartime activity.
It's all reconnaissance or gaining information.
For focus 1, the only thing I see is wartime activity, and this is for Western Europe. I don't know, what do you see? Do you see anything different than that?
No, I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about your session is it's so very clear. Focus 1 has a lot of stuff happening in Western Europe, wartime stuff, and focus 2, nothing at all. Just a lot of monitoring. Rock, I think you had a great session, and now we get to compare what happens with other viewers. What we're basically looking for is there a difference between focus 1 and focus 2 across all the viewers? So you clearly have a difference between focus 1 and focus 2. So now we'll see what the other viewers get, and then we'll get a bit of an idea of how this war will evolve under two different circumstances.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, well, are you serious? I'm the one, and everyone, well, the entire audience is one who's thankful to you. You did the work. All right, Rock. Now we go on to the next project.
Yep. Thank you very much.